creaTEVity.
Don't you wanna steal it? I wanna steal it. Let me see you steal it. Don't you wanna say? I wanna steal it. Let me see you steal it.
After I know a little bit about you, so after you started this box thing, you're in real estate now.
Yeah.
So you doing a lot of real estate projects around the city, around Chicago outskirts. You actually sold me my house, which I'm grateful for. Me and my wife had been looking for a long time.
I remember, because y'all had some.
So yeah, he helped us. He helped me and my wife get a crib, get this beautiful house. I'm very appreciative for that. I learned so much during that time frame of looking at house to house and finally figuring out exactly what we wanted. Because you gotta people don't understand, you gotta compromise a little bit when your money ain't long.
Yeah.
If you got long money, you can get whatever you want.
And let's be honest, like even if your money is long, in a house, like trust me, it's gonna be things like these developers. They're not gonna make the house exactly the way you want it unless you're gonna build it yourself.
From the ground up.
And then if you build it yourself, I guarantee you 5-10 years from that point, you're gonna be like, man, I don't know why I built that. I don't even want that in here no more. So it's always gonna be a compromise of, what you need and what you want. In any house.
So what made you get into that?
Well, after the boxes thing, so I'm doing the boxes, then I did the trucks. So I started a trucking business.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I got 2 businesses and I got Costco. And I'm like, I gotta quit this Costco thing because I know my money can be way longer than this Costco thing.
What you're trying to
if I get out of this. And so that's when I'm like, I need my third thing that is gonna be, the one. Because don't get me wrong, I was making money with the boxes, but it's not enough to pay the rent and, to make sure that my groceries and all that is good. And the trucking, it's like, okay, we just started. So when you start a business, you don't eat off the business immediately. And so it's like, okay, I got these 2, but ain't neither one of these gonna keep the lights on. What's gonna keep the lights on? I got to thinking, months go by, thinking. And I'm like, you know what? I think I would be a bomb-ass real estate agent. I'm like, I got a crib. I know numbers really fucking well. I'm like, this all makes sense. And so I went and got the license. And after I got the license, I did my interviews with different brokerages. Because once you get the license, you can't just sell. You got to pick a company to hang your license up on. And so I found my company, did my interviews. And once I picked the company, I was like, okay, I want to work with y'all. And so they was like, okay, you officially licensed to sell real estate now. And so so once I was licensed, it was like, now it's just my network. You know what I mean? That's all. It's a business just like the other 2 I already have. I just gotta sell real estate now. And so now with that being said, you also have to prove, right, that you can do it, that you're good at doing it, that you're, capable, that you're not just some asshole who got a real estate license, because it's a million of those.
It's a lot of people.
It's a million of those.
They just sit on their couch for.
Yeah, and then and then you like, okay, well, what have you done, or like, what do you know? And it's like, well, it's a house. Like, do you want it? And it's like, you're not a real estate agent. You got your license,
I
but
want it by you.
Right, exactly. And so you can sell your friends. You can sell your friends a $200,000 house.
So not to cut him off, but Brandon is the reason why I came to Brandon, because I had a real estate agent before him, and I wanted to be, I want to buy some from somebody African American. So I had this African American lady. She was an older lady, but like she literally did what he just said. Like she'll show us a house, and then it'd be like, all right, so how much it costs? And it'd be like, oh, this is how much it costs, and then that would be it. And I'd be like, so like, do you think we should put an offer on it, or like what do you think of it? Like, is there? And she would just be like, I mean, it's all right to me. And I'd be like, okay, do you think I should put an offer on it? And then this how the offer would go. She'll be like, yeah, you could. And then I'll be like, all right, put an offer on it. And then I won't hear from her for like a week. And then I'll be like, hey, so about this offer.
That's
like,
wild.
What happened? She'll be like, oh, you didn't get it.
That's
so
why.
When would you want to tell me that I was denied or like that they went a different route? I could have been looking at other houses.
Yeah.
Like, I remember coming to Brandon like, hey, I gotta leave this lady. I'm sorry. It's just, and I feel like it was because she was in the game for a long time. So it was kind of like, hey, I've sold plenty of houses. I don't really need to sell you a house in order to make some money. Like that's how I felt.
Yeah.
It wasn't. You know,
And then a lot of times, to be completely honest about the real estate game, like once you get your license, it doesn't like fade if you don't sell. So a lot of people who get their license, they are doing something. They're doing other things, or they have a 9 to 5, or they're, so real estate is like, okay, if I make a sale, cool. If I don't, I still got my check coming in. And so a lot of agents get lazy like that, or they got somebody else at home supporting the bills, and it's they playtime job. But the ones who take it seriously, or the ones who are only using that to keep the lights on, they gonna make sure that you go from the start line to the finish line, and they want to make sure that they do a good job, because at the finish line, there's gonna be some referrals. You're gonna repeat business, right? So there's some value in making sure that I'm 100% thorough and I don't miss anything.
And that's the part of business that people forget. Like people who start businesses, they forget the referral part. They forget like, oh, if I do a nice job for this person, they gonna refer me to somebody else that I can make more money.
Yeah,
I just feel like
that's
us. We forget that.
No,
sometimes.
and you know why? Because we're one and done.
We give people shitty customer service.
One and
it's
done.
like you just messed up a potential 20 to 30 people who could have came through.
You don't know who you just
exactly. You don't
to.
know who you was just talking to. So like, yeah, man. But
so, I did the real estate, hung the license, and signed with Colwell, and then that was. I got that in October, and then from October to December, 0. Not one sale. So imagine working. October 1st through the 31st, no check. November 1st through the 30th, no check. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going through these months there, and I'm like, okay, I know y'all said there'll be a little bit of a period where I ain't gonna sell, but shit, it's been 90 days. I ain't got no money.
Man.
Like,
need that money.
Yeah. So let's fast forward, right? We in the next year. January, nothing. March, nothing. Right? But I'm working. I'm talking to people. Then it hit March, first sale, right? So first sale happens in March. And I had been doing so much like building during those months where I was marketing, talking to people, getting people ready, telling them about their credit, telling them all this stuff to do. And so by the time March hit, oh my God, the floodgates open. Yeah, so now I got 3-4 in the contract. And so we closing. And I'm looking like, oh man, okay. All my work that I was putting in these months. Because people think, oh, it just comes. No, the fuck it don't. Like, you gotta email, call, help. I'm following up. Hey, did you pay that bill? Okay, cool. That in the beginning, that's what I'm on. I'm like, I'm helping you get your shit together so we can make this sale.
But they appreciate that.
Right, that's
people
my point.
Who trying to buy a house with a because I did. Like, hey, if somebody calling me and being like, hey, I told you got to do this to get your credit. Did you do it? Oh, you know what? Let me do that right now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I appreciate that.
So, yeah, man. So I was on it. And that's when, like I said, in the beginning or early on, it's like, as hard as you work, is as much as you make. And so then by the end of the year, they were like, man, nominees for Rookie of the Year in Chicago real estate. You know what I'm saying? I was on 13 agents, and I'm like, I had no idea. Like, nobody was like, oh, you're close for the thing. I was like, I'm doing my job. I'm getting this money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know that it was like that. And then they told me, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I guess I'm doing a good job. And so,
that's what's up,
fast forward, that's just how I did it. But that was a transition.
I voted a bunch of times for you, man. I don't know if you won it, but
I got to the top 3 finalists.
Okay, yeah.
So out of the 13 agents, they trimmed it down. Then it was 3. I was the top 3. But in the city of Chicago, just to be honest with you, it was 2,500 agents that got their license almost each year. You know what I'm saying? Because people get their license, but they don't know how to run that business. It's not an easy business. People think it's going to be easy. You're going to get in it. You're going to sell some houses. You're going to make a lot of money. No. I've seen so many people go back to work after they get their license. You know what I'm saying? Just in 1 year.
Some people think it's just cut, paint, and dry. Like, people just think like, all right, I got this real estate license. It's gonna be plenty of people who trying to buy houses. I'm gonna give you a couple. It's like, nah.
And it's not like that. I mean, shit falls through. You need clients, and once you close a client, like for instance, you right, bought a house. You're not gonna rebuy a house for another 17 years. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you know a couple people, but once you get to that point, like once they done, like, where is your next? You always gotta have what they call a pipeline.
Gotta get used to paying mortgages.
Yeah. See, but it's kind of like getting that car, all right?
Yeah.
So you get a car that you really want, you don't care about that note. No. You may hate paying the note, but once you pay, you look back at your car when you hop in and you're like, yeah, I know why I'm paying that. Yeah, I know why I'm paying that.
All right, man. But yeah, so to close out the episode, appreciate you for coming through. Just want to ask you a couple of quick questions. So, give me some information on you think the African American community don't really know about real estate.
I think the biggest misconception is two, and they're really brief. But the first one is you don't need $1 million to buy a property. I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't have, $20,000. I need a 20% down payment. It's like literally, if you can get your shit together and manage to save $5,000 to $10,000, you can get property.
Good.
Yeah, and then the second thing is what you don't realize is once you get property, you can manipulate the value in the property and do other things with it. So you can take the equity out and start a business. You can take the equity out, buy another house. You can, once you're paying down that loan balance, they give you that money back, the difference of it. With a car, you don't get that, right? So if you bought a $30,000 car and then you owe $15,000, they're not going to give you $15,000. Right? They're not even going to do that. They're not going to refinance a car. That's a terrible idea for banks. But with a house, they're like, you know what? If they fuck up on their loan, we own the house. Yeah. But that money that you pay down, you can take out and do something with it. And I think that if more people knew that they have opportunity by paying, that they would be more like invested in getting the house so that they can use that money to do something different.
Something else.
Because it's safer than stocks, it's safer than all of that because you own it.
Also, too, because it's always fuck the government. If you put if you grow any type of vegetation or have like if you see Hispanics that's moving into your community, they coming through with roosters, chickens, goats, all type of shit. As long as you farming or have a livestock in your yard, you don't pay taxes for your property. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I'm gonna be growing some carrots or some bell peppers or tomatoes or something. I'm putting something in that.
Yeah, if you register right, that's the USDA. Yeah.
I'm putting something back there. Don't worry. If y'all see some corn back there, just mind your business.
My nephew, he worked for the post office. He said, "Yo, you won't you won't believe how many chickens and goats and shit that come through the post office." I said, "A goat through the fucking post office?"
That's crazy.
Wow.
I said, "Yeah."
Caged up, a goat. Wow.
It's a goat farm out west off like Central and Jackson and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So the other question is, since you into the shoebox thing, name you just got in the sneaker game, like you said, but name your top five shoes that you go with.
My number one is the Flu Games. Yeah, and I think why my number one is the Flu Games is just because of how iconic that game was. Now, if the man ate some bad pizza or if the man was gambling before the game, we don't know.
Scott said he ain't had a flu.
Right. We don't know.
I don't believe it either. It was a stomach virus or something.
Yeah, something was going on. But the fact that he still went out there, you could tell he was sick as hell and still dropped them. Like, I was like, that's how
Michael just hung over.
Yeah,
that could have been it.
But still, imagine you hung over in a pickup game.
Ain't nothing else to do when you talk.
Man,
You went out and got drunk. That's what happened.
But even if he was hungover, when I'm hungover, I'm taking a nap. You can't even give me the breakfast.
I can't even get out of bed.
Right. This man is in the best players in the world and still dropping those type of points.
Yeah, throwing up on the sideline, all that.
That's my point. So it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two would probably be the Bread 11s. I like the Space Jams, but for me, I like the Bread colorway.
I'm not a black and red going on.
Yeah, it is, man. What's going on with this red stuff, man?
The Bulls. What you mean?
All right, man. Red and black. Okay.
Let me see. But again, keep in mind, I ain't been doing the sneaker thing a decade, Okay. So I would say after those two,
You can go formal shoes. You ain't got to necessarily like name it. You can just say like if you like the Jordan 11, Jordan 1, 12, you can do that too.
Yeah, no, you gotta be specific.
No, just
But I like the Off-White 2s that just came out with, the
Okay.
cream ones. Yeah, I want a pair of those. Jordans, because I was at the Pro Tros, because those are called the Grinches. But,
Grinches.
Yeah, need some Grinches.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. I had them a long time ago. I gotta get me another pair, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I want
the price tag of them.
the new ones or the 2009 ones.
Them the ones I had.
Yeah,
the ones I had too.
The 9
I had the
you
09
had?
ones.
What'd you do with them?
I was hooping at them, and
Oh, okay. But see, he ain't one like that back then.
it wasn't like how it is now. There's a lot of shoes that I probably had in 08, 09 that didn't make the transition. So,
let's see. I'm not a big fan of the 5s. Yeah.
Me neither.
You know what? And just the ones. I would definitely most of the colorways are the ones, but they're just uncomfortable. That's the only thing about the ones. They're not
Gotta
a
take the
comfy
sole
shoe.
out.
And put a new one in, right?
Nah,
Just take it out?
Yeah.
That's gonna make it worse.
Nah, it's the same. It's a piece of paper. The sole is a piece of paper.
Hey, Jordan 1's comfortable to me.
Really?
I done fell asleep in my Jordan 1s before.
Nah, no.
I don't never sleep on the couch. I've been on the couch with my Jordan 1s on.
Man, you wear some Jordan ones for like 3-4 hours. I'm like, bro, okay. I feel like a chick. When we finna go home, I can take these
heels off.
Some flip flops.
You got some Crocs. I got some Crocs
I'm
around
taking
here.
heels off, man.
What's your top 5, man?
My top 5. I mean Jordan 1s, but I was on top of the craze before the craze.
You were.
Jordan 2s for sure.
I'll hit some twos.
I'm a big fan of the Nike Air Trainer 1s. People don't know about those, the Bo Jacksons.
Yeah, I had a pair of those. I did.
Number 4 would probably have to be, I'm gonna say the Nike Roast Runs. I remember when I first got these shits and brought them from Florida to Chicago, and my district manager being on my dick about them, like, oh, what are those? Nike Roast Runs.
Yeah, because when they first came out, it was
They were hot.
Yeah, when they first. Now it's like
color. They had the black with
Yeah.
the pink, the red.
So that's the pair I came back to Chicago with, the black with the pink sole. And so I worked at Champs. I was working, this was probably 2011 and or 12, one of them 2 years, I can't really remember. But anyway, I went to Florida to go visit my girl at the time. She was at FAMU. And so when I went down there, they had a mall, and everybody be like, man, weak ass college mall type shit. Well, at Foot Locker, we used to get 50% off weekends.
Okay.
And just so happened while I'm in Florida, it's a 50% off, and I can use my discount anywhere. As long as it's a Foot Locker, Champs, or Foot Action present. House of Hoops too. Ladies Foot Locker, kids Foot Locker.
Favorite store, like.
Oh, when they first came out.
House of Hoops.
Man, I thought it was overpriced the whole time. Because by the time they came out, they was StockX. So
House of Hoops was my favorite store. Man.
So, it's the 50, and we go to the mall, and we walking through the mall, the shit in Champs, the shit in Foot Locker, but we land inside the Foot Action. And the Foot Action, they got these Roast Runs, and I've never seen these before. What the fuck are these? Let me get this color, this color, this color, this color. I grab 4, it's 50% off.
Right.
And them shits is like $80, so it's 40 each pair.
Right.
So I'm not paying shit for them. So I leave, I come back, I wear them to work, and my district manager just happened to be at work, and he, Perry's, what's on your feet? And I'm thinking I'm in trouble, because we don't sell the shit. And so I'm like, I got another pair of shoes in the car. You feel me? Like,
I'll change it.
And he like, no. Like, I really want to know, like, what are those? I'm like, these Nike Roast Runs. I got them in Florida, yada, yada, yada. He say, I just got off a conference call, literally 30 minutes before you just walked in, and they were discussing these shoes. Should we take them on in the market? Grab them all.
Yeah.
Don't miss a colorway.
Get them.
Are you serious? Hey, man, listen. I got the breaking the shoe down because I'm a salesman. And at that, I'm like one of the top salesmen in my store. But I don't even know what I'm really like considered in the district because I don't fucking. It's like a district printout, but I'm not looking at that shit.
I'm working.
I'm here to get my commission
Go
and
buy
my
my
check and
business.
go home. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Is that how it is at the shoe stores? It's commission?
Back then it was. We
Okay.
get like, but it wasn't. It's like 1% on shoes. But if I get you to get the insole, the side,
The
shoe
add-ons,
clutter,
yeah.
and the t-shirt, well, I just racked up. You feel me? I'm up to like 7% commission.
Got you.
And
That commission, hey, bro.
Those add-ons, that's what be crazy, because they be asking you, man.
Commission is big money, bro. I done seen, no lie, I done seen checks from Hertz, commission checks where they were 8, 9, 10,000 for a month.
That's
It's
insane.
just straight commission.
yeah, and it's be more than your regular hour.
Right, of course.
So
Yeah.
that's my whole goal.
Because
so.
yeah, they paying $1 for the cleaner, and then they selling it for 13. They gonna break you off, right?
And so I'm telling my district manager about the shoe, and he's just sitting there with a pen and pad, writing this shit down.
Mm-hmm.
But not only is he writing it down, he's also sending the email.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I see this fucking multitasking. I'm multitasking every day at work. I can go run a business. This is what my mind is saying now.
Mhm.
It's like, yo, I just put you onto this shoe. And then now it's months in, and I'm like, damn, the fucking sales is ridiculous.
After he brought him in.
Technically, I brought him in, but yes, after he made the call to be like, yo,
Yeah.
send the order through.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now I'm in like, I went from that, being a part-time associate that day, like telling him about that. 2 months later, I'm an assistant manager working in like the third biggest store. Well, no, the second biggest, no, the third biggest, I'm like the second biggest store in the district.
Okay.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. So that's why I feel like that shoe is so big to me. Like I take credit.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I do, because I mean, and then too, if you listen to Kanye interviews, and I don't know, my favorite pair would be, my ultimate pair of shoes, I have a pair of Nike Yeezys.
Which one?
Never had a pair, I don't care which one.
Red October, okay.
Yeah, Red October.
I
Yeah.
never had a pair of Nike Yeezys, and I
Mhm.
refused to buy a pair of Adidas Yeezys because I never had the Nike Yeezys.
Mhm.
So,
I ain't an Adidas fan.
and that too. So,
Nike,
based off of that, I'm gonna go with, you know, the Roche Run, and then I'm gonna just say, shit, all the Kobe's for me personally.
man, hey, Kobe 10, Kobe 11.
I mean, the 8, the 9, the 7,
Oh man,
the
y'all
6,
naming
the
numbers
5.
on Kobe's.
I
Jesus.
rock.
don't
I
know
was
the
wearing.
numbers
I ain't
on.
gonna lie to you. I was wearing Kobe's 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I was
Yeah.
wearing Kobe's. Bro.
Before they was hot.
Yeah, I was wearing them. I was hooping them. I was wearing
Yeah.
them outside.
No.
had
I remember
Kobe's,
hooping
bro.
at Kobe's, but yeah,
Yes,
like,
bro.
it wasn't the shoe to wear. It was not the shoe to wear
man,
outside.
man,
Yeah.
I'll never forget, we was in high school, and my man's on the team, he came to the game with them all white Kobe 3s. And my emotions just like erupted. Like, yo,
He said he was.
I did, they erupted, you feel me? I'm a man, bro. The fuck, like, what did he? My mom went and got him right before the game, and I'm there. Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get. I need those.
Wow, nowhere to be found because no damn mall to get some damn shoes.
All right, man. You know, I finished my mimosa. You finished yours.
Yeah.
Last
more water.
last question is give the people a quote that you kind of live by. Take home with. You know?
Yeah. Quote to take home with. Man, it's tough. I got a lot of quotes.
We'll pick one.
My one quote was let's see. Life is short and then you die. That's my quote. And so I feel like what that means, yeah. But what I mean is like every day, you know what I mean? Like I take every day seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every day is a day to me. Like I get what, needs to be done and make sure that I live my life in a manner that is not where I don't have too much anticipation for just way, way down the road. Don't get me wrong, you got to plan. But don't get so caught up in thinking about what you're going to do in the future that you miss
Today.
Right, what you're doing right now. You know what I mean? So
I hate when people come up to me and be like, yo, what's your 5 and 10 year goal? Bro, what's next week?
yeah.
That's what I'm working
You can have them. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I have a bunch of long-term goals, but I don't live every day, not happy because I'm thinking about
I get
10
you. Everybody
years.
have a goal. Everybody go.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. If you in a business, everybody go business mind. I want to at least be able to say I made $1 million in a year.
Mhm.
I mean, not even just business wise, because I mean,
Right, that's everything.
I know crackheads that be like,
Yeah.
yo, I just want to rock for the day, or
Yeah.
shit. If I had a no, you gotta really look at this type of
That's
shit.
true. That's true. But like I said, I was just saying like, hey, everybody got long-term goals. Before you to say that, that just attests to, you know, not taking life for granted.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. To be honest with you, the thing that made me like realize like, hey man, what am I doing? Was when Kobe passed away. I ain't gonna lie to you, because it was just like, man, bro, like I was such a big Kobe Bryant fan. Like he had so much stuff that he was planning to do, life after basketball.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like he passed away. And I was like, damn, that was kind of like taken away from him. It was like, you can be gone, you can be here 1 week and be celebrating with your family and chilling, relaxing, and then you out of here. Like, and my biggest thing, that's why I started this podcast, to be honest with you, is I wanted to leave something behind. Like I want to be able to say, hey, I started something. And now I have content left behind where my kids can go back and my cousins and family can go back and be like, hey, Tevin did this podcast and he had Brandon on and he had Paris, and you know they was just talking about this and this and like stuff that can like help them.
How it was in 2022 during the pandemic.
Exactly. motivate them to, like, I'm all about motivation. Like I told P on one of the episodes, like my biggest thing that I want to get from this, I want to be a motivational speaker. Like, I want to be able to go to a school. I don't care if it's a college, it can be kindergartners in there. I want to be able to go in there and just be like, hey,
you can do it.
You 25 kindergartners don't even know like what you guys are gonna be capable of yet. And I'm here to just encourage, like, hey, y'all can do this, y'all can do whatever y'all want.
I've seen it, I've been in it, I've met them people, like it's possible. And that was huge too. It's just meeting those people, like definitely always elevate your circle. You know what I'm saying? I was around a lot of people who were, and I was the best one in the room. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's like, okay, nah, I need some people that's gonna push me, and I'm like, oh shit, you make, damn, okay, I'm tripping.
For real.
And you know what I'm saying? I got to be better because you got all this shit going on. I thought I was doing it back here, but now I got to get right there. And so then give you good advice from a new perspective. Because the people in the old circles, they only have a limited perspective because that's just what they have. There's nothing bad. It's just what they have. The people in the next circle are going to show you shit and teach you about things that you don't even know was a thing.
In the old circle downplaying what you doing. Like they like, oh man, you doing that?
You doing too much.
Yeah, like
you doing too much.
Like
that's
why? And you get over to this circle and it's like, that's all you doing? And you like, I thought I was. I was like, you know,
man, I've had them conversations and
for real. Like I got a lot of, like you said, changing circles. So I got a lot of like older people in my circle now. Like I feel like talking to people who are older than me, they experience more. So now I get to talk to them and be like, hey man, so when you was like 28 or 29, like what was you doing? What happened? And you know, what was you doing or what was your mindset? And just to hear them like, you know, go over what they were saying and how they think now, it's like, all right, I want to get to that level. I want to be at that level right now. Like I don't want to be I'm just, you get what I'm saying, though. Like they 38, 39, 40.
They wait,
I want to be at that level when I hit 29, 30, 31. Like I want to be like, all right, this is where I'm at mentally. So yeah, man. Well, I appreciate, you know, you coming through, man.
Oh man.
Blessings to you and all your future endeavors, man. You're doing great things out here in the city. If you got anybody again that you want to, you know, pass our way, send them through.
Most definitely, man.
You know,
definitely gonna be a lot of support.
Really want to make sure that we highlight everybody in the city doing great things. I just want positivity, as you see in my shirt. Positive, peace and love. I just want positivity in the world. There's a lot going on. It's a pandemic. It's people dying left and right. So, but I appreciate you coming through again, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Coming through.
Most definitely.
All right, man. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever y'all want to do, man. Love.